How can a one-horse town help supersize your business or just plain help you grow and build your business? Back in the 1850s, a one-horse town was considered, well, back then towns often had more horses in them than they did people. So if a town only had one horse, it was considered a very rural, very dull, very small town. Probably a place without very many activities or very many amenities. So not very many people lived there or worked there. Now, what is a one-horse town? And maybe you grew up in one. I grew up in a really small town in Wisconsin, and although it wasn't a one-horse town, we didn't have very many horses, although we actually did have horses. It was not a one-horse town. We had lots of amenities, although as teenagers, of course, we didn't think so. Most communities, no matter what, no matter how big, no matter how many activities and things they have, there's always an age that we go through where we're bored and there's nothing to do and we don't know what to do with ourselves. And our parents just shake their heads and are like, you know what, go outside and play, go read a book. And nowadays, I think if you told a kid to read a book, they'd probably curl up and die. But back in the day, that's what we did. We went outdoors or we went and read a book. We didn't have a ton of television, or we didn't have any of the technology that the kids have nowadays, that they can just, grab your cell phone, grab a laptop, grab a tablet, grab something and just start watching and being entertained 24/7. And that, there's pluses and minuses to that, right? So one horse town, have you been to one? Have you experienced one? What the heck? And how can you use this to grow and build your business? A couple of ways. Number one, people live in a one-horse town, right? And the people that live in small towns, small rural communities, have needs and desires just like everybody else. No matter where we live, we have certain common needs, wants, and desires that we need fulfilled. Do people in rural communities have problems just like people in bigger communities and cities? Yes. Are people being impacted by COVID throughout the entire nation? Yes. Maybe the rural communities, actually the one-horse towns, actually have a little bit of an advantage because they're already social distanced and separated and there's not so many people in the population. But they're hit just like everybody else. So they have the same problems, the same needs, the same wants, and the same desires as human beings anywhere. That is a huge advantage to your business and growing your business, because guess what? The way we can really grow and supersize our businesses quickly is to find the pockets of underserved communities, the pockets of people and population, and the groups of people that have problems that we solve, but that are being underserved by our competition. So often, the competition all goes after the same percentage of the marketplace. I think of the online community and how many people, and here's an example, right now, how many coaches want to target other coaches. It's been this explosion during COVID where there's all these trainings and coaching programs and developments for coaches to help other coaches. It's kind of nauseating, but there's a whole lot of it out there. So people are targeting coaches. Now they're starting to target more and more specific type coaches: health coaches, diet coaches, life coaches, business coaches, online coaches, offline coaches, whatever. But it's true of anything. But everybody's going after the low-hanging fruit. They're going after the easy people, the easy markets, the easy targets, the ones that have, all the money and all the resources, and they have an urgent problem that you want to solve right now. But guess what? Even people in a one-horse town have urgent problems and urgent desires, and they often have the resources to invest with you to solve their problem. But it's a matter of reaching them. Guess what? We now live in the internet online age, where it's easy to reach those people. It's easy to find the people that we can serve no matter where they live. And so the one-horse town idea isn't really an objective or a roadblock from serving people that much anymore, because we do have access to people through technology, through Zoom, through cell phones, through the internet, that we never had access to before. And I feel like COVID is just putting that whole process on steroids. It was moving very quickly already from the offline to the online world, but I think COVID has made it that there are industries and there are segments of our economy and our world that will never be the same again because of the changes that have been overstimulated and rapidly supercharged during the COVID pandemic. And one of those areas is online shopping, online learning, online communication, online everything. So I like to ask myself, whenever I'm thinking of who I'm serving, who I'm solving, who else could I reach if I didn't have the roadblock of having to physically reach people, and the internet makes that possible. So how can you reach those people? And then the other thing, that one horse town, it's considered dull or boring or rural and out of date or old fashioned. And so how can we, as we're presenting our offers and our products and services to people, make it more fun? How can we make it more fun and creative and exciting for them to solve their problems, for their experience with us to be one that they'll remember in a positive way, of course, for years to come, so that if they or anybody else they know ever has a similar problem or desire that we solve, they'll come to us, they'll remember us. I always say, do what you can with what you've got right now, no excuses. So COVID is a big excuse for a lot of people, but that's all it is. It's just an excuse. Being in a rural area is an excuse for the people sometimes that live there to not do things, to not try things, to not interact, to not create what it is that they want, or serving people in a rural area. Sometimes we make excuses as to why it's harder for us. And that's, again, all just excuses. Do what we can with what we've got right now. And the internet and COVID, no matter what's going on outside of us, there's always solutions. We just ask ourselves, well, what else is possible? How could this be possible? How could I make this happen? So I'd love to know your experience with one horse town, the idiom, the thought, the idea behind smaller and smaller groups of people that we can serve to grow and build our business. And as our business and our industry matures, smaller and smaller groups of people automatically become served. But why should they have to wait until everybody else is served first, right? They shouldn't have to. And if that's an area that you can find a competitive advantage and an expertise of serving, why would you not do that? Because guess what? Those are the customers, the ones that are underserved, that get served, are the ones that are going to become the lifelong customers. They're going to have a lot more loyalty than just, finding people through a bunch of ads or something. All right, that's getting off topic today. Go out, have an absolutely amazing day. I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now?